The Verge called it the best 10x telephoto lens ever put in a smartphone, and then gave the phone a 70. Their exact words: the Find X9 Ultra has the best 10x telephoto lens yet, but would be a better phone without it. I've read lots of reviews. That might be the most interesting sentence I have ever come across in a while. 12 other reviewers, by the way, gave this phone a 90 or above. 4 of them gave it a perfect 100. So we have 13 reviewers, 1 product, and a 30-point gap, all because of a lens that everyone agrees is the best of its kind. Guys, welcome to Sounds Nerdy, and today we're figuring out who is right. But before we dive deep into all this information, if you're new to this channel, do me a huge favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and hit that like button. Okay, let's dive in. Here is what you are actually getting. 6.82-inch OLED display, 144Hz 14p resolution, Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, that's Qualcomm's top chip for 2026, 7050 milliamp battery, which is generally large number for a phone. IP68 and 69 water resistance, yes, both. This phone is rated for sustained water jets, which I imagine most of us will never test, but it's nice to know it exists. And the cameras, 5 of them, a 200 megapixel main sensor, a 3x telephoto, a periscope 10x telephoto, the one causing all the drama, an ultra wide, and a front camera. 5 cameras. OPPO was not in the mood to compromise. Starting price is around 1,449 British pounds, that's roughly 1,800 USD equivalent. This is not an entry level conversation. We are at foldable level prices. The Nerve Verdict score for the OPPO Find X9 Ultra is 90.7 out of 100 from 13 reviewers. That is a strong number. For context, anything above 90 on our scale means the overwhelming majority of professionals consider this a best-in-class product. The OPPO Find X9 Ultra is sitting at number 2 in our phone rankings right now, behind only one other device. But the verdict volatility is polarizing. 30-point spread, highest score 100, lowest 70. And here's the part that makes this interesting. All 13 reviewers recommended it. Every single one, even The Verge with their 70, still said you should buy this phone. They just also said it would be better if one of its cameras did not exist. That is the tension we are here to unpack. Let me start with the consensus. What had 12 out of 13 reviewers reaching for superlatives? First, the camera system as a whole. TechRadar said the OPPO Find X9 Ultra has become their favorite Android phone. Their cameras, they said, are the best that they have ever tested. Android Central went further and said there is no doubt in their mind that this is the ultimate camera flagship of 2026. Digital Camera World, people who spend their professional lives thinking about cameras, called it hands down the best camera phone currently available. Those are not throwaway lines. Those are people with serious credibility in imaging technology making strong declarative statements. Second, the battery. A 7050 milliamp cell with fast charging. GSM Arena called the battery life excellent and said it outpaces competitors. Trusted reviews called it exceptional. For a phone this powerful, holding that charge is a real achievement. Third, the display. Multiple reviewers praised the 144Hz OLED. Android headlines say it is one of the best you will find anywhere in a smartphone in 2026. Fourth, the overall package. Trusted reviews called it a massive achievement and an absolute powerhouse. Mark Ellis reviews said everything else beyond the cameras is pretty much perfect. That is a high bar and reviewers kept clearing it. The consensus is not complicated. This is legitimately an exceptional phone. Now, here's where it gets more interesting. Android Police, who gave it an 85, flagged software issues and charging quirks as real problems. Their framing was that these issues threatened to spoil the package. This is not a minor caveat. T3 landed at an 80. Their main concern, the phone is large and heavy. At this size, it is not for everyone. And if you've been holding off on the big phone trend, the Find X9 Ultra is not going to change your mind. Android police also noted that the XS photo struggles with moving subjects and low light, which is relevant context for what the Verge is about to say. At that price, 1,449 British pounds, you are making a financial commitment here. A few reviewers flagged this directly. The phone is excellent, but is it excellent at a price that requires a deliberate decision? All right, The Verge. Their score, 70 out of 100, the only review in our database below 80. Their headline summarizes it perfectly. The Find X9 Ultra has the best 10x telephoto lens yet, but would be a better phone without it. Let me explain what they actually mean, because it is a fair point, even in the framing sounds extreme. The 10x periscope telephoto on this phone is extraordinary. Reviewers universally agree on that. The problem the Verge identified is what happens to the overall camera system when OPPO tries to integrate it. Their argument, the computational photography pipeline, the software that stitches everything together, gets complicated by having to manage 5 different sensors. And in some scenarios, that complexity produces worse results than a simple 3-camera system would. They're not saying the 10x lens is bad, they're saying the phone might have been more consistent without it. 12 reviewers looked at the same setup and concluded opposite, that the 10x telephoto is the whole reason to buy this phone. This is genuinely interesting disagreement. Not bias, not clickbait tape, a real philosophical difference about what makes a camera system great. Maximum capability versus maximum consistency. The Verge is voting for consistency. Everyone else voting for capability. Your job to know which one you are. Here's my honest take on who this phone is actually for. If you are a photographer, amateur, or professional who wants the best mobile imaging system available in 2026, this is it. The data is unambiguous. 13 reviewers, 100% recommendation rate, 4 perfect scores. Buy it. If you care about camera performance, but you are not a power user, the OPPO Find X9 Pro sits at 88 on our Nerd Verdict. Same brand, same DNA, lower price. Worth looking at before committing to the Ultra. If you are cross-shopping with a Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra, which sits at 89 on our scale, the OPPO wins on pure camera performance by most accounts. The Samsung wins on software ecosystem, especially if you're already in the Samsung world. If you are primarily a video creator rather than still shooter, read the Verge review before deciding. Their concerns about the computational pipelines are more relevant for video than photos. And if 5 rear cameras feels like a lot, it probably is for you. There's no shame in knowing what you actually need. The OPPO Find X9 Ultra Nerd Verdict is 90.7 out of 100. Polarizing verdict with a 30-point spread. 13 of 13 reviewers recommended it. The one-line version. This is the best camera phone available in 2026, and the only meaningful disagreement is whether having 5 cameras is better than having 4 really great ones. That is a legitimately interesting debate. It is also a debate that tells you a lot about what kind of buyer you are. Full breakdown, all 13 review scores, every source, and the live consensus evolution chart is at soundsnerdy.com. Link is down in the description. And if you want every major flagship this month ranked by 50 plus reviewers in one PDF, grab the free Nerd Verdict starter pack, also in the description down below. No spam, just the data. New Nerd Verdicts drop every Thursday and Friday. If the idea of having 13 data points instead of 1 before you spend $1,800 sounds useful, subscribe to this channel. This is exactly what we are here for. Drop a comment, Verge or the field, who do you agree with? And until the next video guys, stay nerdy.